The shrill ring of the phone cut through the silence of the billionaire's penthouse office. It was almost midnight, and Richard Bennett, the man newspapers called the Iron King, was still at his desk. His empire spanned oil, tech, and real estate. Worth billions waited on his signature. He thrived on control, power, and precision. But nothing could prepare him for the trembling voice on the other end of the line. "Sir, this is Nurse Claire from City General. I don't know how to say this, but sure, daughter, Emily, she was found lying unconscious on the street. She's here in the ER right now." The pen in his hand dropped to the floor. For the first time in decades, Richard couldn't breathe. The papers, the meetings, the world all dissolved into a haze. He didn't even remember telling his driver to start the car. All he knew was that the image of his daughter's laughing face as a child was suddenly clouded by the terrifying thought of losing her. Emily's world. Emily Bennett was nothing like her father. At 21, she had inherited her mother's softness, her compassion, and her quiet strength. While her father lived behind glass towers and armored cars, Emily preferred the streets, the shelter, and the struggling lives of people society forgot. Her father had tried to raise her in his world of luxury, lavish galas, elite universities, designer wardrobes. But Emily's heart pulled her in the opposite direction. She would often sneak out dressed in simple clothes to volunteer at the community shelter. The kids there called her Miss Sunshine, because no matter how tired she was, she always smiled for them. But kindness came with its cost. Emily had been overworking herself late nights, little food, carrying boxes of supplies, tutoring homeless kids, and hiding her exhaustion from everyone. On that fateful evening, while walking back from the shelter, she had collapsed after narrowly escaping a reckless car. At the hospital, when Richard stormed through the ER doors, the staff scrambled. The billionaire's presence was overwhelming, but his eyes wild with fear were that of a father, not a tycoon. He saw her on the bed, pale, fragile, her golden hair sprawled across the pillow. Machines beeped rhythmically, each sound both a comfort and a dagger. He clutched her cold hand and whispered, "Daddy's here. Please, Emily, don't leave me." Nurse Claire stepped forward gently. "Sir, she's stable. But she's weak, malnourished, and clearly exhausted. This didn't happen overnight. She's been pushing herself far too hard." Richard's brows furrowed. Malnourished? Exhausted? How could the daughter of the wealthiest man in the city lack anything? But deep inside, he already knew the answer he had been too busy to notice. Memories that cut deep as he sat by her side. Memories returned like knives. Emily at 6 years old, waiting in her birthday dress by the window, only for her father to call and say he couldn't make it home. Emily at 12, holding up her report card, glowing with pride, while Richard muttered distractedly, "That's good, sweetheart. Daddy has a call." Emily at 16, whispering through tears, "I just want you, Dad, not the gifts, just you." And then the last memory, her walking away quietly when he brushed her off for another meeting. He had thought giving her luxury was love. But now, seeing her lying there, he realized he had given her everything except what she truly wanted, a father's presence. When she woke, hours passed. Finally, Emily's lashes fluttered, and her soft voice broke the silence. "Dad." Richard leaned closer, tears streaking down his face. "I'm here, Angel. I'm right here." Her lips curved faintly. "Don't cry. I'm fine." "No, you're not," he whispered. "And that's my fault." She shook her head weakly. "I didn't want to bother you. You were always busy. I thought if I showed you I could make a difference out there, maybe you'd be proud of me." His chest tightened. "Emily, I've never been prouder of anything than I am of you, but I was blind. I thought success meant money, and I didn't see that my greatest success was right in front of you." Her hand squeezed his, faint but deliberate. "Then, promise me something. Don't just be a billionaire, Dad. Be someone's hero. Be mine. A father's transformation." The promise haunted Richard. When Emily was discharged, he didn't return to his boardroom the same man. He began visiting the shelter with her, at first awkwardly. The children were wary of him, the man in a suit, out of place among broken toys and leaky roofs. But soon, Richard began to laugh with them, kneel beside them, listen to their stories. Medical checkups, proper meals. But more than money, he gave them time, read books to them, played played chess with the older boys, and even painted walls with Emily, his expensive watch splattered with white paint. For the first time in decades, Richard felt alive not as a tycoon, but as a father, a human. The newspapers called it the billionaire's redemption, but for him it was simply keeping a promise to his daughter, a quiet hero. One evening, Richard found Nurse Claire at the hospital and thanked her personally. "You didn't just save Emily's life," he said, voice thick with emotion. "You saved mine too." She smiled gently. "Sometimes, Mr. Bennett, all it takes is one scare to remind us what really matters." The new beginning. Months later, father and daughter walked out of the shelter hand in hand. The sunset painted the sky, and laughter of children echoed behind them. Emily leaned against him. "I'm proud of you, Dad," she whispered. He kissed her forehead, his voice breaking. "No, Emily, I'm proud of us. Because now I finally understand what it means to be truly rich." And in that moment, Richard Bennett, once known only as a billionaire, realized he had gained something far greater than wealth: love, family, and purpose. Inspiring message: life's true riches are not in wealth or power, but in love, presence, and the difference we make in others' lives. Don't wait until it's almost too late to realize who and what really matters.